doesn't really matter how far you're going. If you've never done it before, just start off with going around a track once backwards. Then on a treadmill, start off slow with an incline. So the incline is going up and you're turning like this. It really starts working on strengthening the muscles that are needed to bend the knees. It helps a lot. Thanks to Ben Patrick and the ATG system. It has been very instrumental in me changing my legs. I went from not being able to run to now, this past weekend I ran 9.6 miles, around a 10-minute split a piece, which is not fast, but still, I didn't stop once, and had some splits around 8 minutes during that period. So it's amazing. Check him out, Knees Over Toes guy on YouTube. So yes, running backwards, walking backwards, big deal. Makes a big difference. I'm gonna do a nice long example. If you can get used to moving backwards, what's happening is your knees are going over your toes a lot more, and that helps to regulate your muscles, generate more energy, bounce, spring, bursting, all of that good stuff. So now that I found this, I'm 46. I never knew any of this, but it's helped to transform my body. I'm on my way to a goal of 190, 185, 195, somewhere in that range, with an appropriate body mass index. So I encourage you, give it a try. It's going to help your overall fitness to improve, because if you can run and you can move, then you can remain in shape and enjoy what you're doing. But if your joints are hurting terribly, it's hard to do anything. And if you notice, if you try to run backwards or start walking backwards even, you're going to notice that it doesn't hurt your knees almost at all, unless you have some chronic disorder that is you need an operation. You're in that midst. But even if you've had knee trouble, moving forward, moving backwards is way less stressful. It exercises those muscles, your hamstrings, your quads, and the calves and tibialis in a different way. So the great thing about that is that it's good for anybody. It's good for the person who's just starting out, and it's good for the elite athlete, somebody who is competing on the highest level, especially if they've never heard of this, which is kind of bizarre when you think about how could somebody be so fast and not know about this. Well, it's because they're naturally gifted and they have a God-given ability to move. But imagine if they were to implement these things with a guy who tore his Achilles tendon in June of 2022, to now setting a goal to try out for a USL team in December. Yeah, I'm going to be trying out for the Hartford Athletic as second tier US professional soccer. I played D1 and had no accolades at all in college other than playing for 2 years. Got heavily involved in worship ministry after that, and I wouldn't say quit the team, but kind of resigned because I was more focused on that. But there were other reasons I stopped. One being the atmosphere on the team was not very great, especially freshman year. And I went to a Christian university, and it was terrible. I'm not saying that Christians should be perfect, but the administration at that time, not now, but then, was not treating it as it should have been treated. So it affected a lot of people, and left a bad taste in my mouth about sports, and I kind of resigned from playing for a long time. And you say, well, you know you're not going to make that team. Well, this is my mind saying that sometimes. But I don't really care whether I make it or not. Obviously, it'd be a fantastic Christmas present if I did. But what's most important is that I've recognized that my body is a temple. It is a place where I would like God to hang out. And when you're feeling terrible and your body is overweight and overtaxed, it's very difficult to keep focus on the right things. And so June of 2023, I was around 250, and I finally said, I can't do this anymore. So we got a guy who's mowing the lawn over there. I probably should get my keys off the field. So it's the athletic trainer. So I felt like I have to make decisions that are going to improve my life. And at that point, being 250, just hurting myself, getting on the rec soccer field, there's no way I would even consider trying out for a USL team. What makes me think that I can compete? A bunch of things. One, I feel my body in a way I've never felt it before in my life. I recognize my limitations. I've studied a lot this year about the sport and what I didn't know before, things that I took for granted because of my athleticism. So let's just say my athleticism might not be what it was in 1997. Some things are better than that then. Even at this very moment, I would say my endurance is higher. I was not running 9 miles even in college. My long runs were maybe 5 or 6. But the biggest thing I'm recognizing is the mental clarity to make good decisions. Recognizing, yes, you know, the pro game is fast, and I have to move very fast in order to be a contributor. I have to be able to make the quick pass, get in the right position, etc. So on every pitch that I've been on the past 6 months, I've had a lot of growth, even in the higher men's brackets. So I've been walking backwards this whole time, and my body is appreciating it. I played 45 minutes last night, running pretty much the entire time, making runs, supporting my players, etc. And I have to share this last thing because there's so much to say, I think, in regards to purpose and realization, self-awareness, things like that. But I haven't told tons of people about this, and I may not even release this until after the tryout. Who knows? I'm not a YouTuber, even though I may create some kind of a movie of some sort to release just to hopefully help people. But I said to my daughter, I think I'd like to try out for a professional team. And she says, wow, that's amazing. I'm going to sum it up. So she says, well, what does your heart say? And my heart says, and I associate my heart with the spirit, the special eternal flame God put here in my heart. And I said, my heart says I really desire to play at this level. And she says, well, what does your mind say? This is my 8-year-old daughter. She says, what does your mind say? I says, well, I have a lot of doubt. I have a lot of feelings that I might not be good enough or I'm too old. Okay, she says. Then she asked me this question, what does your body say? I said, well, my body has made some significant improvements and I feel really, really good. But then she says, well, maybe you need to get your body to prove to your mind, because your heart is not going to change, is it? And I says, well, yeah, I see what you mean. And so I said to her, looks like I got a little more work to do to get my body in a place where my mind is convinced and made up, in a sense, not made up, but my mind is not wavering back and forth about it. And I just couldn't believe how much profound wisdom that was. Obviously, I don't believe that your body rules your mind or your heart. I believe they're all connected, and there has to be unity in all three. But where there's disunity, there lies the issue. Where there's, lack of confidence or whatever, and they're all connected to, well, if your body is broken and it needs to be repaired, then it has to be repaired before your mind will even consider the possibility of doing something like this. And so as I think about this more and more, I recognize, okay, so what steps are there for this week? So my wife and I are going to be fasting Friday night through Monday. So a 3-day fast, water fast. And this will be my second one in the past 2 months. I've also done a 48-hour water fast and a couple 24 hours. And it's been paramount to see the changes in my body happen. I do have about 20 more pounds that I have to shed before December 18th. And right now it's November 2nd. My 16-year-old son's birthday. And so in order to get there, my body needs to repair and rest and shed in order to prepare it for the endurance that I need to have and also the confidence that I need to have on the field. I told my parents about this before they left to go to Florida, and my dad had a very, not a stern face, but just kind of a deep in thought. What is my 46-year-old son going to be trying out for a professional soccer team for? I don't know if that's what he was thinking, but of course my mind is playing tricks on me. So he came up to me the next day and he said something that was very insightful, saying, just make sure you keep the priorities in line, that your family will follow you. And I recognize that, and I certainly need wisdom and want to do what is right by everybody. And so these are my thoughts on November 2nd, 2023.